shit, that was a 5-round war from Marvin Vettori and Jack Hermansson. Do you know what's funny? I feel really good for Marvin because he was like the second replacement for Jack's original opponent, and now he's jumped from number 13 or number 12 to number 4 in the rankings. He's jumped so many people just by taking a short notice fight, even though he was going to fight a week later against Kevin Holland, I believe. I feel bad for Jack because he really could have just said, nah, my number 4 ranking is, more important than taking, the third opponent that comes my way. And he just ended up losing. He got dropped by Marvin in the first round, and for a second I was like, oh shit, is it all over? But he stuck in there. He just pulled him into full guard, and just tried to survive the rest of the round. And I don't know. I think I would give Jack maybe the third. I would give Jack the third round, possibly the second round, but there were such close rounds, and Marvin did really, really well. I didn't expect him to have the performance he did against Jack. I really felt like Jack was on another level of like striking. However, I think what I noticed was Marvin being southpaw really was quite difficult for Jack to adapt to. I don't know about his original opponents if they were southpaw or orthodox, but he seemed like he was having issue with actually just connecting with shots with Marvin, because Marvin would just slip off the line and bang, that left straight would continue to crack him. I thought it was a really good fight, and I felt like Marvin Vettori's grappling is probably getting the respect it deserves now, because it was quite underrated before, and everyone was expecting Hermansson to be the better grappler, when in fact it was Vettori that was out-grappling Jack in that moment. I felt like Jack was on the back pedal for a good bit of the fight because he was trying to recover from all the damage he took in that first round. I think if that first round didn't go the way it was, I feel like Jack's stamina and, his overall ability would have been much better in these later rounds, but I felt like he was like struggling from taking that damage in the first round and just trying to claw back. He did well in the second and the third. I would give him the third for sure, because I felt like Vettori was trying to rest a little bit. Second, possibly, but Vettori has to get 1, 4, and 5, and those number 2 and number 3 were fairly close anyway. I felt Vettori, he's fucking huge for middleweight. He's a big, muscly guy, and he's strong. I felt, I don't think he had the same stamina as Hermansson, because he had to back off in the third round to get, he didn't have the same endurance, but fuck, he can crack. The shots that he cracked Hermansson with in the first round just dropped him. Didn't even look like it. It looked like it connected, but it didn't look like he really put everything behind it. Just went boom, cracked him with the left hand, bam, dropped him on the floor. So I'm excited for Marvin Vettori, because he went in. I don't know if you saw that, he went and called out Paulo Costa. He said, Borrachina, let's fucking fight. So I'm excited for that. Marvin Vettori, he's jumped the rankings quite a bit. We know Paulo, he's jumped the rankings quite a good bit just by his performances.
Well, 13 to 4th is a very huge jump. I'm not gonna lie, the middleweight division's still pretty stacked. You still got a lot of killers at the top of the ladder on the middleweight division, including Robert Whittaker, who can forget. Was it Jared Cannonier, and Paulo Costa, just because Israel Adesanya has gone up to light heavyweight doesn't mean that the middleweight division is just boring. There's still a lot of potential great fights. It's just, however, sort of Israel Adesanya sort of cleared out the division for himself, but the fighters below him still have a good chance of putting on some spectacular fights. Not really counting out Jack Hermansson too much.
No.
I honestly do believe he can come back from it. I think next a good fight for him would be actually Jared Cannonier.
Yeah.
Because they're both quite similar in terms of style, both coming off a loss, you know what I mean? And, even though Robert Whittaker's not fighting right now, Marvin, if he does end up getting the fight with Paulo Costa, I mean, maybe you can give him or Cannonier. Maybe you could give him Whitaker next, but maybe that's a little bit too much of a stretch.
Maybe for Jack to bounce back from this fight, I'm all for Marvin fighting Paulo Costa. That seems like a really good fight to me. Two guys with some definite power and definitely will probably stay on the feet. What I thought would be maybe a good one for Jack, maybe a Uriah Hall or something like that. I would, because Uriah's just had that fight with Anderson Silva. I feel like he definitely wants to start climbing the rankings again. I feel like a Uriah Hall or Jared Cannonier would be good for Jack to bounce back, because they're all starting to hover around that top 5, that top 5 kind of area. And in order to bounce back from a loss, I feel like you've really got to take out a really good opponent, and that would probably be a Jared Cannonier or a Uriah Hall, who are really, really impressive. Now, it was interesting that you didn't, when you were running through all the middleweight fighters that are really great outside of Israel Adesanya and Robert Whitaker, well, one you left out on purpose was because he's just been released by the UFC. Yoel Romero, the Soldier of God. I saw this on Instagram. They said he's no longer the Soldier of God. He's the Soldier of Gone. Like he's. I don't know. He had 3 fights left in his contract. He's been released. His manager said he's left. It's interesting that he's left now.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't been very active on social media or anything like that. So even any frustrations. Sounds like negotiations might have went south, or he wants to go to a different promotion.